When Hunter x Hunter begins, it feels like the perfect adventure story. A wide-eyed kid, a dream to become a hunter, and a journey to find his long-lost father. It looks like a classic shonen. There's friendship, growth, discovery, and you think you know where it's going. But it doesn't take long to realize something's off. The monsters aren't just the villains. The danger isn't just physical, and the one losing his humanity isn't the enemy. Gon Freecss was never the hero of an adventure story. He was the protagonist of tragedy. Hunter x Hunter was never about finding his father. It was about what it costs to chase a dream. From the very first episode, Hunter x Hunter sells a fantasy we all recognise. A young boy full of hope, a world filled with magic, monsters and mystery, a goal that's just out of reach, a goal to find his father and become a great hunter just like him. He makes friends, faces trials, learns lessons. It's the stuff of every great shonen protagonist adventure. But something's different. This world isn't just dangerous. It's unforgiving. This isn't a mere test of courage. It's survival. The people around Gon aren't allies. They're human weapons, future threats, or both. Even Killua, Gon's closest friend, is shaped by trauma. He was bred for violence, and barely even understands how to be a child. Gon doesn't see the cracks yet. He still thinks he's on a grand journey. But we see the cracks. The show disguises despair in the idealism of adventure. It hides cruelty behind a poor child's optimism. And in doing so, Hunter x Hunter sets its trap. Not just for Gon, but for us. Because what comes next only works if you believed in the lie. After the exam, the world opens up. Gon and Killua head to Heaven's Arena, chasing strength, chasing adventure. It feels like the training arc we've all begun to love from shonen shows. We've seen this before: new power systems, higher floors, bigger dreams. But this isn't a dojo. It's a coliseum. Kids fight for money. Power is transactional. Nen isn't mystical, it's a weapon, sold to the highest bidder. The show gives Gon tools to grow, and then quietly shows us the cost of him using them. But this isn't nearly as bad as what comes next. Because what comes next is Yorknu, and the mask slips completely. No tournament, no lessons, just blood, vengeance, and the slow suffocation of idealism. For once, Gon isn't the centre of the story, and he's powerless to stop any of it. It's awful. And there is nothing Gon can do about it. So what does Gon do? He moves on to Greed Island. And Greed Island, it's going to bring all the light back into the world. We're going to have games, puzzles. We're going to be happy again. Right? But even here, inside the living video game, beneath the mechanics of this game, something is rotting. Gon doesn't grow wiser. He just grows stronger. More focused, but more stubborn. He starts to break. Not even Killua notices it yet, but we can see him start to break. Finally, Greed Island concludes. The game ends. The real world awaits. The next step in his adventure. And oh boy, does the next arc break everything. When Gon reunites with not his father, but Kite, it feels like the story is finding a place of balance again. A mentor, a father figure, a safe space. But it doesn't last. The Chimera Ants arrive, and Hunter x Hunter becomes a different show. Kite is immediately taken, and for the first time, Gon loses something precious to him. But instead of grieving, he decides something entirely different. Gon decides it's his fault, and that the only way to fix this is to become strong enough to undo it. From this moment on, Gon stops being a protagonist in the story. He becomes a weapon, like many people we've seen throughout this story. He stops listening, he stops trusting, he stops feeling anything apart from one binding emotion: rage. He eventually gets to a large confrontation. Pito. And he tells Pito to fix Kite, knowing deep down that it's already way too late for that. Pito tells him Kite is dead. And Gon freezes. Silence befalls the room. And that's when it happens. This isn't just a transformation. This is the decision Gon is making. And we know this famous scene. He gives up everything. He gives up his future, his life, all of it. Traded for the power to kill. Not to protect anyone, not to win, just to hurt someone, because they can't do what he needs. This isn't a victory, it's a tantrum, fueled by grief. And in that moment, Gon isn't a hero. He's a child who can't understand death and tries to fight it away. He has not been given the tools to emotionally deal with anything. He has just been given the tools to become powerful. And he gets what he wants, eventually. But he becomes something, in the meantime, unrecognizable from the boy that we saw with the fishing rod. The boy who set out on adventure. In the aftermath, it's not Gon who saves himself. It's Killua, the boy who was raised to kill, now is the one trying to save. Killua learns to care for others, learns to be more like Gon at the start of the story. But he cries after using Godspeed to escape with Gon. While Gon chased strength, Killua learned compassion. He learned fear, regret, and love. When Killua really cares about something, he asks his sister, Nanika, to heal Gon. And he protects that same sister when others are scared of her, when others see her as a monster. He actively, the kid who was raised to be an assassin, chooses not to fight. He chooses to run, he chooses to protect, and he does it without ever asking for recognition
of his good deeds. When Gon wakes, he barely remembers anything he did. But Killua remembers everything, and still stays by his side. Hunter x Hunter doesn't reward brute strength. It reveals it in all its forms, but then asks you, what will you sacrifice to get this brute strength? Because we know what Gon was willing to sacrifice. Gon loses everything, trying to grow up way too fast. Killua grows by showing that he can be a kid, and he's choosing to have a childhood. He's the one who finally learns how to care and see the world idealistically, perhaps through the eyes of a naive child. At the end of Hunter x Hunter, Gon reaches the top of the World Tree, the tallest place in the world. A symbolic mountain, some would say, and he finally meets his father. His journey is over, but it's not the reunion he imagined. There are no big hugs, no answers, no closure, because by the time he gets there, Gon has lost so much. He lost his Nen, he lost Killua, he lost his innocence, his optimism, and even, in moments, his sense of right and wrong. The boy who once saw the world as an adventure gave everything just to survive it. This wasn't a story about him finding his father. It was a story about him losing himself. And maybe growing up means realizing the true essence of sacrifice. No adventure can give you back what it takes away. And that is the tragedy of Gon Freecss.